1 year ago today, I made a decision that changed my life forever. I decided in that moment to put down the drinks and the drugs and to go sober. And 1 year later, my life looks completely different. This time last year, I was completely lost. I didn't know what I was doing with myself. I was going back and forth between smoking weed, drinking, going out, the whole nine. I had had experience with brief stints in sobriety before, doing 75 hard, living the Live Hard program. I would do 75 days sober, go right back to the drug. Do another 30 days, right back to it. The entire summer, smoked it away. I did this for 8 years basically, nonstop, every single day, pure addiction, terrible. My life went to the gutter, honestly, and it took a long time of slow deterioration to get to the point where I knew I needed to make a change in order for my life to go in the direction that I wanted it to go. So I was in a really low spot. I didn't have confidence in myself. I didn't believe in myself. I wasn't doing what I knew I needed to be doing in my life. I wasn't where I wanted to be. And making this decision was the hardest decision I've ever made in my life. It was not easy, but I knew it's what I needed to do. And it led me to this point where I am in my life today, which is night and day from on the drink and the drugs to off the drink and the drugs. So I'm excited to take you guys through what this experience has been like for me over this past year and how it's completely transformed my life for the better and how it can transform your life too. So exactly a year ago today was the day that I decided that I was going to stop drinking and doing drugs. Like I said, it was a progressive trial and error of being on it and being off of it. And that back and forth and the making progress only to take 2 steps back was what really got me to that decision that I was like, you know what, I need to stick to this. I need to change my life. I want to change my life. And it was through the Live Hard program and 75 Hard that really pushed me to make that next step and to commit to sobriety. So this time last year, I started phase 3 of the Live Hard program. And then after that, I knew I did not want to go back to drinking and doing drugs because my life was so much better when I was not drinking or doing drugs. It was clear. It was night and day. There was no ifs, ands, or buts whether or not which one was better for me. My life was better when I was sober. And I made that decision to go in all in. I'm an all in type of guy, clearly, going from smoking weed every single day for 8 years to now not having done a single drug or a single sip of alcohol for an entire year. And I'm looking forward to continuing this path. And it's not an easy path by any means, but it's a path that I knew I needed to take, and I'm so grateful to be on. So when I started phase 3 of the Live Hard program, my family and my friends all obviously knew what I was doing and the commitment and the program that I was on. But not many people knew that I was going to be taking sobriety seriously from that point forward. It wasn't even something I was fully committed to. Even during 75 Hard, my first time around, I didn't tell anyone until about a month in that I was doing the program because I was afraid that, if I was doing the program and then I gave up halfway through, that people would judge me and that I would feel like shit myself. But at that 30-day mark of doing the Live Hard program, I knew that I needed to commit to it. So I told a very close friend of mine who had gone sober a few months prior, and that friend was my main source of inspiration and accountability in my early journey in sobriety. Having previous stints in sobriety, 75 days, 30 days, I knew what to expect going into this. And it wasn't honestly something that I really thought about while I was doing it at first, but those cravings initially during those first couple weeks were pretty difficult. And I still get them to this day. But as time goes on, you learn to deal with these cravings and you have outlets such as working out, meditation, phoning a friend. All of these things are extremely helpful in combating the cravings, overcoming them, and therefore not drinking or doing drugs. And I'll tell you, those first couple months were pretty rough. I mean, I literally had to take it one day at a time. One of the sayings that I would say to myself was, not today, maybe tomorrow. And I would literally say this every single day, not today, maybe tomorrow. And it got me this far, and I still continue to say that to this day. When I'm having a rough day and the back of my mind says, go light up or go grab a drink with some friends, I say, not today, maybe tomorrow. Overcome that feeling in this moment and push it off to the next day. It's really helpful. It sounds silly, but it works. So throughout this process, I've had to implement different systems and programs and able to get me from point A to point B where I'm not drinking or doing drugs. One of the number one things that I've done for myself in order to stay sober and continue this lifestyle has been working out in the gym and being out in nature, walking, hiking. Both of these things combined has absolutely saved my life. It was the reason that I got into personal training and coaching in the first place. Without working out and running and hiking and even just going on simple walks have become one of my favorite things to do. Without these things, I would not be where I am today. Having a routine and structure behind my day, waking up, hydrating, reading something positive, meditating, going to work out. That simple routine in the morning has absolutely transformed my life in ways that I couldn't even imagine. Because when I have this structure and this routine, first thing in the morning, I'm able to start my day with a win and continue my day with positive momentum, knowing that if I could start my day on this high note, I will continue that throughout the day. And a big part of going sober for me was just getting to a point where I would tell myself for a long time that I didn't want to do this anymore. I didn't want to smoke anymore. I didn't want to get blackout drunk and be hungover the next day. After enough times of doing this, it became torture. It became a nightmare every single time that I would tell myself, I'm not going to smoke today. And then next thing you know, oh, where am I going? I'm going to go light up with some buddies, or going to the bar until 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, drinking my face off, and then waking up the next day, regretting every single decision and wondering how I even got there in the first place. So these things happened over time. It didn't happen overnight. Like I said, I smoked weed every single day throughout the day for almost 8 years. That's what it took to get me to this spot. It wasn't some messed up situation or crazy scenario that I got myself into. It was a slow chipping away of my confidence, my self-belief, my ability to just exist in the world by myself. And this is my first time in my adult life that I feel like I am a whole person and I'm becoming myself and learning about how to do life without doing drugs and without drinking. The other major program that has completely transformed my life and has kept me accountable in this year of sobriety is AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. And it was really hard for me to commit myself to going to any meeting or even the idea of going to an AA meeting, but it was something that opened my eyes. Especially, I wouldn't even consider myself an alcoholic a year ago. But now that I've been in the rooms and I've experienced the stories and opened up and learned about addiction and the disease that it is, I have recognized that I was not only a drug addict to weed, but I was also an alcoholic in the sense that whenever I did drink, I couldn't control how I drank. It was never just 1 or 2 drinks. It was, how am I going to drink as much as possible to get as messed up as possible and have the best time? And being in Alcoholics Anonymous and being in the rooms has completely transformed my life. It's not just a program to put down the drink, but it's a personal development program where you develop yourself and your inner person to a point where you don't need to drink or do drugs. Your life is so good by itself that that's not even a question. Because drinking and doing drugs is a solution to your issue. But AA provided me with a solution that doesn't need drinking and drugging. It's a solution from inward work, spiritual work, and I'm so grateful that I was vulnerable enough to step into the rooms, to open myself up to new ideas, and really commit myself to a new life. You know, they say in the rooms, you're going to live a life beyond your wildest of dreams in sobriety. And I'm finding this couldn't be more true. I'm not going to say that my life has transformed overnight or even in this past year. I'm still having difficult moments. I'm still going through trials and tribulations, but I'm understanding more and more as I go on that I'm able to handle these situations with so much more grace and an ability to truly address the problems that I'm facing, not just drown them in alcohol or numb them with weed. I actually get to face my challenges head on and address what's going on. It's not something that is easy. It's not something that is for the faint of heart, but I'm telling you that it's a better solution than doing drugs and alcohol. Throughout this process, I've had to have a complete identity shift. I am no longer a stoner or someone who drinks alcohol. I live a sober lifestyle. I do what's right for myself and for my family, my friends, and my peers. It's not something that I really even think about as much anymore. Obviously, I still have moments where it'd be nice to go light up a joint or to go have a couple drinks with some buddies. But it's a complete identity shift. I'm focused on my health. I'm focused on my fitness, my finances, my spirituality. It's a complete identity shift in how I view myself and view the world. It's so incredible to have a clear mind and think with clarity and be able to make decisions with the best of my ability and judgment. Because when I was drinking and drugging, the decisions I was making were nowhere even clear or to the point where I'm making my decisions today, because I can think with clarity, I can think with my head on my shoulders compared to a chicken running around without its head. Because that's what it really feels like when you're in the thick of it of drinking and drugging. So the identity shift that happened was spiritual, and it was something that I will never forget. And it's honestly something I don't believe I will ever be able to go back from. Because I think in the back of my head sometimes, like, will I drink one day? Will I smoke one day? I don't know. All I know is that I'm not going to drink today, and that I'm not someone that does drink or do drugs or participates in that lifestyle, because I know the life that I'm trying to live and my purpose here on earth is far greater than someone who is going to walk around drinking and doing drugs. And by no means am I saying there's anything wrong with drinking or doing drugs, but it's up to you and how you feel about your life and what you want to do. And I promise you that there's a life beyond your wildest dreams without drinking or doing drugs. So over this past year, I have had 0 drinks and no drugs, none whatsoever. And I couldn't be more proud of myself for this, because the previous year before that, I had 2.5 months sober, then I would go back to the drinking and the drugs. Then I would do another month sober and back to the drinking and the drugs, smoking the whole summer, drinking the whole summer. And this past year, 0 slip-ups, but I will say it has not been easy. It was not a clear path every single day. It has gotten easier as time goes on, and I start to think about it less and less, but there are still moments, even to this day, that I wish that I could go out and get blazed and forget all my problems and go have fun and drink and drug with my friends. But I'm realizing as time goes on that I could still have fun and I could still enjoy myself, probably even more than I was on the drink and the drugs, because that was artificial. It wasn't real. I'm still able to go out and have fun with my friends. It's not something that I can't do because I don't drink or do drugs. Even if they're drinking, I could still go out with them, have a fun time, and enjoy myself. Yes, does there come a point in the night where people are drinking and getting drunk and I have to say peace out? But guess what? I'm not under the influence. I can get in my car and go home. It's as simple as that. Making the choice to stop drinking and doing drugs was not an easy choice. There was a lot of things beyond the drinking and the drugging that I had to give up. Like I said, it was a complete inner personality change. My identity completely changed. I had to stop hanging out with certain people. I had to stop going certain places. I had to stop participating in the activities that drove me to drink and drug. And now I'm in different rooms, surrounding myself with different people, thinking different thoughts. But it's also given me a life beyond my wildest dreams. It's allowed me to start building my life and living the life that I've always dreamed of. A life beyond my wildest dreams. I know I keep saying that, but it's true. And I can see it. I feel it. I'm living it every single day of my life. It's not something that just happens overnight, but once you make some progress with this and you continue to do the inner work, which is something I'm still doing right now. I haven't fully committed to the AA program. It's worked in my life and I've been able to stop drinking and doing drugs, but it goes far beyond stopping drinking and doing drugs. It's a spiritual program with promises that allow you to live a life that you could never imagine. A life that is beyond your wildest dream. As a result of going sober, stopping drinking and doing drugs, the things that I've gained in my life are immeasurable. I've been able to work for myself and for people as a personal trainer and coach. I've been able to reestablish my relationship with my family and friends that I lost touch with over the years while drinking and doing drugs. I was blessed with new relationships and new people in my life that I would have never been able to maintain those relationships if I wasn't sober, and having a clear mind and showing up for people, and most importantly, showing up for myself. I started to truly love myself and the life that I was living. Because while I was out there drinking and doing drugs, that wasn't self-love. That wasn't showing myself that I care for myself. It was actually self-destruction. And I've gained my self-confidence back. I've gained my ability to show up for myself and therefore show up for others. And that's a gift that has no price on it. You can't put a price on that. So if you're thinking about stopping drinking and doing drugs, I could not advise it enough. If I had to give myself advice 1 year ago today, or even beyond that, about how to do this, it's a few simple things. You have to establish your why. Why do you want to stop drinking and doing drugs? What is it in your life that you don't currently like while doing drinking and drugging that's holding you back? Why not you? Why not live the life to your fullest potential? Because when you stop drinking and doing drugs, you open your life up to a potential that you couldn't do while you're drinking and doing drugs. So ask yourself, why do you want to do it? What could your life look like with endless possibilities and endless energy and endless clarity and endless ability to show up for yourself and show up for your people? Because that's what I needed the most in my beginning. It was not for me. It was for the people around me. It was for my peers. It was for my family. It was for my relationships, for my future kids, for the world. So if I were to give you 3 pieces of advice to get sober and to stop drinking or doing drugs, I would give you these 3. Number 1, establish your why. Why are you doing this? Why do you want to change? What do you want to change? Number 2, find community. Talk to your family. Talk to your friends. Go to an AA meeting. If you know me personally, please reach out. Please get help. Don't just sit with the pain that you're dealing with. It's far beyond you. Why you go sober is for the people around you, for the people in your life. And number 3, you have to see a vision beyond where you're currently at. Know that your purpose is greater than drinking and doing drugs. It may be a solution for you right now, but I guarantee there's a better solution out there for you. So as I think back on this past year, my first year in sobriety, I couldn't be more proud of myself. I couldn't be happier with the decision I made and what it's resulted in. And I know I'm just truly getting started with this because in 1 year of my life sober, I've had ups and downs. There's been really great moments. Initially, it was really great. My life was improving very fast. And then once that initial high wore off, the reality set in that life is difficult. It's going to be a challenge no matter if you're sober or not. But choosing to be sober and deal with life's challenges up front, I guarantee you're going to be living a life that is much easier to manage and much easier to go through while not drinking or doing drugs. So these next 6, 12 months, even just tomorrow, I still take it day by day. Every single day I wake up with uncured addiction. I need to set myself up with programs and routines that allow me to show up sober and to show up for myself, for the people in my life, for the people I don't even know, for people on social media. This is what allows me to keep going, to keep pushing, and to know that what I'm doing has a greater purpose, because it's not easy all the time. But I will say, it has gotten easier over time. Overall, my life has gotten way better while being sober. And so these next 6, 12 months, I look forward to continuing to develop myself as a person, continuing to develop myself mentally, physically, spiritually, financially, in my coaching business and my ability to give back to others. All of these things are things that I'm continuously working on in my sobriety. And in sobriety, it has allowed me to do these things in a way that I could have never done while drinking or doing drugs. So I could not be more thankful and grateful that I have been on this path, and I'm on this path, and that I was blessed to get addicted to drugs, and I was blessed to be addicted to alcohol and being drunk. Because if I didn't go through those situations and have those low moments, I wouldn't be on the path that I'm on right now. So don't take your struggles for granted. Don't overlook them. What you're going through has purpose. So take what you're going through right now and use that as power and fuel to ignite yourself into the future that you've always imagined. You got this. Being sober has allowed me to create new relationships in my life, relationships that I would have never been able to have if I didn't choose sobriety. And I've been able to show up in ways that wouldn't have been capable if I wasn't sober and not drinking and doing drugs. Showing up for loved ones and the people in my life has by far been the greatest gift that I've received in sobriety, along with self-love and self-confidence. I'm beyond grateful to share this message with you guys, to share my experience and my story with you. And if this message resonates with you, and if you know someone that's struggling with drinking or doing drugs, please share this message with them, because you never know what can change someone's life. What my story is, and the reason that I share it, is because even if it changes one person's life, I will be happy to share my message and change that person's life for the better. So stay happy, stay healthy, push yourself in the right direction, and know that whatever you're going through has purpose, and you're going to come out a bigger and better person.